it's another beautiful day in Florida. I'm not gonna say sunny South Florida because it's actually pretty overcast, but that's actually helping us. Well, I should say me, because I'm the only one working here, but yeah, it actually feels really good, especially having the tent up. If it starts raining, we don't have to stop. I originally put it up because it was hot as hell earlier, but now it's overcast. I originally started working on this last night. I had my boy Blue over here helping me out, and he was able to help me take all the suspension and everything apart. We left the axles and everything in place just because my oil container was still full of oil. I had to take it to the store to go empty it. So we just kind of took everything apart and then stopped where any fluids had to be drained. And so I was able to take that over to O'Reilly's, dump it, came back, flush the transmission, flush the oil out of the engine, and pretty much got everything prepped and ready to go out. When you're running like a stock engine harness, the way I always like to do it in Integras and EGs, I like to disconnect from right here from the firewall. Those are the plugs that send the information to the inside so you get your information on your cluster. Meanwhile, over here, you have basically your like ignition, and I think this is like speed and tack and all that other stuff. Usually that blue wire is like RPM readings and stuff like that. So yeah, so I usually just disconnect all that stuff, throw the engine harness over the motor, and when it drops down, everything drops down in one piece. Once I have it out of the car, then I can undress everything and move over everything I have to move over. In this case, we're not using this harness, so this harness is just basically going to stay on this motor, and Gabriel's going to take this all pretty much in one piece. The only thing that I'm going to swap over is like the fuel stuff, the ignition stuff, obviously headers and stuff like that, and that's pretty much about it. So very bare bones. It's gonna go back in with a new rye wire setup, which I have inside. So once I get the motor and everything in here, I have to go ahead and move the battery because the grommet is behind the battery, and then the rye wire harness is gonna run through there. It's kind of like doing a K-series, so it just runs in there. You end up having a conversion harness. It's really just an adapter to get everything to communicate with your vehicle inside. And once you run all that in there, you basically plug in your C101, and the harness that you get from RideWire actually goes directly into your ECU. So the plug that you have inside that's got the I think it's C and D plugs or whatever, that's what connects to this. Those aren't getting used anymore. Then I also have to figure out a way to pull those inside. I got to figure that out in my car as well. So my car is actually chilling right over there. AC tuck and everything is done. Bumper's chilling over here. So it's just kind of out of the way right now. Right now I'm focused on this car for a little bit. Before the day's over, I'll go ahead and throw the bumper on, just kind of in place so the car doesn't look like it's not running. And probably around Wednesday, Thursday-ish, probably Wednesday I'll start focusing on that car again, make sure that it's ready for Sebring, since we are going to be actually heading out Saturday instead of Sunday, spending the night in Sebring to go to the show. So, but yeah, so for now, power steering's out of the way, compressor's disconnected, fuel return's disconnected, fuel pressure's disconnected, everything on the bottom as far as like half shafts and stuff like that, linkage. The T-bracket is still there, but it's disconnected. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and take off the I'm probably gonna take off the driver's side engine mount, and I'm gonna lift the motor up a little bit so I can go ahead and slide the T-bracket out, and then we'll go ahead and get started dropping this whole thing to the ground. And somehow manhandled that thing to the ground. I'm gonna take this dolly, throw it under here, let the motor drop onto that from this height, and then once we get the motor on that dolly, we're gonna go ahead and raise the car up high enough to slide the whole swap out. Especially since I'm working for myself, or by myself, I can't exactly drag this thing on the ground by myself, so that's gonna be the way that we're gonna have to do it. All right, y'all, so just a quick update. Motor's out. Whole swap, just like I said, wiring on top, fill line, wideband sensor, header still attached, everything's still connected, basically, for the most part. We did scuff up the valve cover a little bit because it was kind of a pain to maneuver. First of all, with the compressor still in there, and second of all, with that stupid tow hook right there. no matter how high you jack up the car. I had to take this off too because this car is so fucking stock. It still has this thing on it, but yeah, so I disconnected that and worked it out, and unfortunately the tow hook banged it up a little bit, but you could probably polish it out, and if not, you can always hit it with a little bit of wrinkle red just to fix that. Oh man. But yeah, so right now, whew, I'm dead because maneuvering that thing out of there by yourself, especially on this damn ground that's like pitted because it's gravel, so it's like soft and mushy, and these wheels keep sinking in it and stuff. So it was quite a bit of work to get this thing out of here. But now that it's out, I need to take the trans off the long block, basically strip this thing down completely, and move everything over to this one, including the headers, because we're going to be running it in A for now. So yeah, that's going to be the next step before I take the trans off, because the trans is kind of like, it helps it kind of stay stable on the dolly, and the headers. I'm going to go ahead and strip off the Dizzy. I think we're using a different fuel rail. I don't believe we're using that same fuel rail. We have a whole other fuel setup. So actually, now that I think about it, majority of the stuff is probably gonna stay. So we need to move over the power steering brackets. We need to move over the AC tensioner. We need to move over the crank pulley, the alternator brackets. We need to move over the sandwich plate, the oil pressure sensor, and we need to move over the plugs for the breather that go to the back of the block, which, by the way, I hate those things. Those things made it such a pain in the ass to get the T-bracket out. So after this motor, I am never doing that dumb setup ever again. Always valve cover, and that's it. So oh, we have to move over the IAC and the throttle body and all that stuff too for the intake. So yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break real quick, eat a snack right quick, and just get back to work on this thing. I get distracted so easily. That thing looks so freaking good. Can you imagine that thing right there, like rear wheel drive like that, with the tires poking out a little bit more as a drift car? Tell me that wouldn't look sick. But yeah, so let me go eat something right quick. I'll be right back out. All right, so real quick, just so y'all can see, harness and charge harness are off now. This right here is just a wire for the reverse sensor that sits down here. So everything's completely stripped down as far as wiring goes. I'm not gonna use that sandwich plate. I actually got a sandwich plate inside, so the oil filter adapter, that one's leaking and it's got silicone and stuff on it, so I got a brand new one inside. I'm gonna go ahead and slap that on, and then I gotta take off the other breather setup so I can move that over to the new motor, get that ready to go. That way those lines are already in there, so once the motor goes in and I put that catch can back where it needs to go, I just have to run feed the lines up towards that way and just connect everything to the catch can. But yeah, luckily it's still overcast and there's a nice breeze coming in, so it feels really good. It's a really good day to do this. But yeah, so that, I'm not gonna bother with the adapter plate. The next step now is gonna be to take the Dizzy off, remove the spark plug wires, and pull the starter off and get the transmission off. And then I'm gonna need this line right here, because when I put the sandwich plate on, I'm gonna have to run that line for the head to go down, and I need all those fittings and all that other stuff. So, but for the most part, everything else is gonna stay on here. And then this motor, I'll leave it on the dolly. Once I take the transmission off, the transmission doesn't really weigh much, so I'll take the transmission off, and I'll take the clutch and the flywheel and all that off, because I need that for that motor. And once I have just the long block, I'll take this, put it on the dolly, and I'll go ahead and roll it into the backyard, and I'll keep it in the backyard for now, covered up, in case there's anything else I need off of it. I'm gonna move this dress up kit over for the valve cover bolts. So for now, the motor's gonna go in there with the valve cover like just sitting on it, and then little by little, like I have to switch over these bolts and stuff like that. After the motor is hanging in there, then I'll start doing those little minor things. But right now it's like 6 o'clock. I got maybe another 4 to 5 hours that I'm willing to work out here, because before tomorrow, this car pretty much has to be sitting on the ground. So I need to get the motor at least hung up in here without a harness or without anything. I just need to get the motor hung up in here, and I need to get the tires and everything back on and put the car on the ground. That way the city doesn't come by bitching. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and continue stripping this thing down, getting that thing dressed up, and let's shoot for having that thing hanging up in here by tonight. All right, so I just wanted to give you all a quick update. Had my boy Blue come over straight after work to give me a hand because my back is all fucked up. My back. So he came over here to help me get this thing in. B20's over there. Transmission is already off of it and everything. So we're putting the clutch back, and we were having a hard time aligning the clutch. And I remember that I had... I forgot. So like I was saying, we were having trouble aligning this clutch, and I found the ultimate alignment tool. So I remember that I actually had an input shaft from an old transmission that I was rebuilding in the trunk of the car, and so that's how we aligned the clutch. So
can't get it aligned with that, you're done.
Yeah.
You might as well just wrap it up.
So yeah, but that's where we're at. We already torqued the flywheel. Obviously, pressure plate is on. Now that it's aligned, we can go ahead and torque the bolts on the pressure plate. And then I'm gonna go ahead and slap the trans on real quick. And then how you see this thing is how it's gonna go in here, because we're losing daylight and also it's Sunday. So I want to get this thing up on the. I want to get this thing hung up in the car and get the car back on the ground. And then that thing's gonna get rolled to the back, and then I'll start stripping that thing throughout the week to keep dressing this thing up. But as long as we get this thing in the car and I can clean up this mess, because I also need to get my front bumper just placed on my car.
No, we don't.
Then we'll be Gucci. So surprised that jack is still holding. So let's get this done before the Harbor Freight jack decides to give up. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and close this video out right here. I know the ending is a little abrupt. I can't film behind me or show anything else because mainly because of for the same reason that it's taken me so long to get this video out to you guys. Even though we did Sebring and everything after this video was recorded, but I kind of wanted to film everything in a series. And once we got back from Sebring, there was a new development. There was something new that we all started working on. Me, Shane, and the rest of the guys that help support the channel by giving me a hand. And even the owner of this car, Gabriel. We've all been working on getting everything, I guess, situated. And what I mean by everything situated, meaning we basically have a new shop. And I don't want to reveal that just yet, because I actually want to go ahead and set up like I want to do like a nice like cinematic type of reveal for revealing where the shop is at. So I just kind of wanted to update you on the car, what the goals are for the car now that it's here at the shop. And once we release the reveal, we're going to get 100% back to work. I'm actually here to work on the car today, and I'm going to be filming that today. But I won't be releasing any other videos until the shop reveal is done and it's out. So in this moment, everything is in, like as far as like the long block and the transmission and stuff like that. A lot of things have been changing with the car. The car is going less and less the route of a street car. It's still going to be a street car, just not going to be a daily style street car. I don't know if you've noticed, but AC has been removed. The reason for that is because I explained in the video that we were going to get this car running with headers and everything, and then Gabriel would figure everything else out later. But we decided to say, screw that. We're going to do full send. We're going to do turbo manifold, everything. And the turbo setup that we're going with wouldn't clear the radiator and the condenser. So that had to come out. We have a new half-size radiator for this. And on top of that, we decided to say, screw it. We're going to go we're gonna go ahead and just knock out the E85. So I'm gonna be converting these lines back here that are for the fuel to E85 fittings, or to fittings, so we can run the PTFE lines. So the system will be E85 safe. We do have an ethanol flex fuel sensor. The Honda that's on this car does support that. So we're gonna go ahead and get all that set up, get everything wired in. Front bumper is gonna come off. We have the intercooler and everything ready to go for that. And we're gonna start routing that. And if everything goes well, I'm hoping that in the next like 2 weeks, this car should be for the most part done and on its way to tune. And the reason I say that is because next month, starting July 3rd, I believe, I start my next term at school. So with that being said, I'm not going to be taking on as many projects. If I do find the extra time, I'll take on like a transmission rebuild or something like here and there. I am going to be doing a few engine assemblies that I have lined up for a few guys. For the most part though, it's just going to be me working on my car, and Shane is going to be working on his car in here. He's going to have a lot of stuff going on in here because we are sharing this shop. But I also want to say, guys, that the amount of support that the channel's been getting has been kind of crazy. I know most of it is due to that junkyard video that got released. I am going to be filming another one of those real soon because I do have to go back out there and get a few extra parts. And there's also a block from that wet Integra. I still haven't gone back out to get that. So if that's there, I definitely want to get that and bring it here. Yeah, but it's insane. I mean, I want to say maybe in the past like 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago, we hit 200 subscribers. We're already at, last I checked, like 253. We cleared 50 subscribers in like less than 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. A lot of you have been reaching out to me like through Instagram and stuff like that, which is cool. If you have any questions or anything like that, whenever I find the time, I do answer them. Just keep in mind that if I don't follow you, it will go into my message requests. And it does take me a little bit to see it because every once in a while I see that I have some requests and I start going through them. The majority of them are spam, but I do kind of filter through those, and it is like, if it is like one of you guys, then I'll go ahead and answer and do what I can to help you out. But yeah, so for the most part, stay tuned for the shop reveal. It's going to be a cinematic video. It's going to be real cool. It's going to take me a little while to film. It is going to be like a whole crew filming. It's going to be insane. Just make sure if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That way when that drops, you guys get notified. Make sure to hit that bell notification so when new videos drop, you guys get the notifications. Also, if you guys like watching my videos, any of my videos that you watch, make sure you hit the like. That's going to help YouTube know that basically you like the video, and because you like the video, other people who watch the same type of videos that you watch, my video will get referred to them and give them the opportunity to see a thumbnail and click on it and stuff like that. Chances are that if you like the video, somebody else that watches the same type of videos you do will like my videos too. So that's how the likes help. And also, feel free to comment on here. I do answer comments on here. So if you have a comment, if you just have any kind of input, if there's something that I don't explain right or whatever and you want to correct me, that's cool. I'm always down for learning new stuff. That's one of the main things I love about this hobby, is just kind of communicating and connecting with the other fellow hobbyists, and just kind of sharing the knowledge and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And don't be afraid to share my videos. Also, don't forget, I do have an affiliate that I work with called Tokyo Drips. If you follow my affiliate link down below, it'll take you straight to the website. You can check out a lot of cool shirts and stuff that they have. They're constantly changing up and adding new designs. So if you go to the website through the link and use my code PROJECTBTEAM on checkout, you will get 15% off. And I also do get a little bit of kickback from that, so that does help me out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, and we will catch you guys on the next one.